So, good afternoon. I'm honored to have been asked to come back again this year, and thank you for mentioning my monster movie collection. I love monsters. I grew up what we call a monster kid, kids in the 60s and 70s who were just infatuated with the classic monster movies. And the reason why was because I actually was a skinny, scrawny little kid. Before I became this double X Adonis that you see in front of you. All right, come on. Let's be honest, okay? Ever since food has replaced sex in my life, I can't get into my own pants. Sorry. But imagine me in high school. My senior year of high school, I was only 5'3" and weighed 110 pounds. I was a skinny little peanut, and constantly getting picked on. And didn't really have a lot of friends because I was very shy. Again, you wouldn't know that looking at me now. And it's funny, I went to my, actually they just had my 40th, I didn't go to that one, but at my 35th high school reunion. I hadn't seen most of these people in all those years. And I'll tell you, there were some old people there. Just saying. One dude looked like Colonel Sanders, the original version. And it just, it's just amazing to me how old some people got. But anyway, but I went to the reunion, like I said, and nobody had really seen me in many years. And I wound up sitting with a few young ladies who were not part of my clique, or I should say I wasn't part of their clique. And they said to me, John, we used to talk about you all the time. I said, what? I didn't even know you knew I existed. I was this skinny little shy kid. I did play the guitar, and I played in a garage band called Good Smoke. The 70s. But that's all. I mean, that was it. I was shy. I didn't sing or get out there. I was actually in the background playing the guitar. So they knew I played the guitar, and they knew I was skinny, and I had this squealy little high voice, and they said, we knew what happened to you after high school. I said, really? They said, yeah, we knew you became Prince. I sure do. Anyway, but being the scrawny little kid that I was, I got infatuated with monster movies. I mean, the comic book era was all the rage, and I wish I had powers like a superhero, but I knew I probably wasn't going to get bitten by a radioactive spider or anything cool like that. So I wound up finding in monster movies the thing that would help me to overcome. And I realized that in monster movies, well, I'll get to that in a second. I have to show you my infatuation, because this was my room. Maybe. There we are. This was me. I always had a fuzzy face. Reading monster magazines with posters on the wall and models and toys. I was just infatuated with monsters because no matter how big and how nasty the monsters were, I found that they can always be defeated. You can always beat the monster, whether it's through innovation, or coming up with some really cool ideas, or maybe it's just getting a whole bunch of people together and doing things in teamwork. You're always able to fight off the monsters. The monsters we still face today in real life. Every day we face monsters, don't we? We have monsters at work. We just had a session talking about change. Sometimes change is looked at as a big, nasty monster, right? We're dealing with monsters at work. We're dealing with monsters at home. There are monsters all around us. But yet we can find a way to defeat the monsters in our lives, the monsters of our own making sometimes, just because we don't have the ability to say no. And here's what I learned about fighting monsters. When I was watching these old movies, monsters were afraid of fire. So if you had the good burning fire within you, you can fight off the monsters. All you needed was a torch. And when you're dealing with the big monsters, you get a bunch of people with torches together. Right? Those of you who ever watched these old monster movies, almost every time they're chasing the monster, they're looking for the monster. Villagers with torches can fight off the monsters. They can take anybody on. So that's all we need to fight off the monsters in our life, to fight off the challenges that we face, is we need a torch. But we can't fight off the monster if our torch goes out. If we've burned ourselves out. If that inner fire has gone dim. So, what I want to talk about today is no matter what the monsters are, and like I said before, monsters of our own making because we can't say no, because we've taken on so many things. We're so overwhelmed. I want to talk about how we can get that fire lit and keep it lit. Sound good?